Artificial intelligence is no longer just a tech trend, it's becoming a leadership tool. The key is to use AI as an augmentative tool, enhancing human judgment rather than replacing it. You definitely don't want it to replace human judgment. Well, 2024 is shaping up to be a year where the rule book gets rewritten. There is a seismic shift happening in the business landscape. Do you feel it? Yeah, it's been kind of a strange year. A week ago Monday, we said goodbye to Q1 and we're barreling into Q2 now. It's almost tax time. And in some ways, growth has been kind of slow through the first quarter if you look at business overall. In other areas, it's expanding. Funds have tightened up, but possibilities are all around. It's really kind of a weird market. I would say uncertain. And uncertainty creates opportunities. Think about 2020. Lots and lots of uncertainty. Some companies just kind of tucked into their recession shell, and others blossomed. Zoom is a company that really capitalized on the entire remote work trend. The company name became a verb. They became the go-to video conferencing solution for businesses worldwide, and it happened so fast. They adapted to the changing landscape, which sent revenue skyrocketing. 623 million in 2020, which is pretty darn good to start with, to 4 billion in 2022. Think about that. 2 years. 623, 4 billion. Insane amount of growth. And I think we're at another point where there are similar opportunities. From many in-depth conversations I've had recently with business leaders, CEOs, market makers, and a few billionaires, I see three game-changing trends that are really set to redefine leadership and growth. The first one I'll call inclusive innovation. And I don't just mean like skin color, ethnic background, but it's much deeper than that. Gone are the days when innovation was confined to the C-suite or came up from R&D labs, something created in a vacuum. But in 2024, and I think beyond, successful companies will foster a culture where every single team member, regardless of their role, is encouraged to contribute ideas and to drive innovation. And the approach not only accelerates problem solving, which it certainly does, but it also boosts employee engagement and retention, which there is a deficit of in so many organizations right now. Employees are quiet quitting or not engaged or just jumping ship and moving on every couple of years. But the real thing that I think companies will benefit from is sometimes those closest to the problem have the best visibility and insights, but historically have the least voice or influence. Think about that. Visibility and insights up here and voice and influence down here. And I think we're going to see a shift, or we are seeing a shift, where that becomes much more in line and people are paying attention to those that are on the front lines who don't necessarily have the position, but do have the visibility and the ideas. So some great ideas come from other places in the organization other than the top or labs somewhere. The second big trend that I see is AI-enhanced decision making. Artificial intelligence is no longer just a tech trend, it's becoming a leadership tool. And this year, expect to see more and more leaders leveraging AI for data-driven decision making. We all talk about being data-driven, and I think AI is helping us get there much faster. From optimizing operations to personalizing customer experiences. We're seeing that all over sales right now. The key is to use AI as an augmentative tool, enhancing human judgment rather than replacing it. You definitely don't want it to replace human judgment. The third big trend that I see is the emergence of the purpose-driven enterprise. And we've started to see that shift already as millennials and Gen Z begin to take on more and more leadership roles. We'll continue to see a seismic shift towards purpose-driven business models. It is a bit of a novelty today. When you think about companies like Tom's Shoes, buy a pair, give a pair, Bombas, they do it with socks. And so we see that out there in the marketplace, but it's a bit of a novelty, but we'll start seeing that to become much more mainstream and part of corporate identity. And companies that prioritize social causes, giving, social responsibility, sustainability, ethical practices will not only attract top talent, but also foster deeper connections with customers who increasingly value that alignment with their personal values. They want to do companies with businesses that get them, that really fit with who they identify with as people. Like, this is something I care about. This is a company that cares about the same thing. I want to do business with them. And attracting employees is the same way, because every single employee wants to be part of something bigger than themselves. There's that impact driver, and we really see that in Gen Z and millennials, which is very, very cool. And it really excites me personally, because I absolutely believe to my core that business has a responsibility to give back and make the world a better place. And while each of these three trends stands on its own, the convergence of the trends signifies a radical change in leadership. It's not unlike the radical shift that we've seen in the SaaS world from growth at all cost to capital efficient growth. Who saw that coming? It was grow, grow, grow. It doesn't matter what you spend. And now it's, why are you spending money? You're supposed to be growing smart. It's just, fundamentals do matter. I guess the industry caught up. But it is definitely a fundamental shift. But I think we're seeing that in other areas as well. And the shift will not just set a new standard for success, but also create a ripple effect that transforms industries, reshapes the workforce, and redefines what it means to lead in the modern era. So don't get left behind. Start adapting now and watch as your growth soars to new heights through the rest of this year and beyond. What big trends are you seeing in leadership today? Drop those in the comments. Let me know.